Hello everybody, welcome back to A Close Heart Experience. My name is Jennifer. And let's get the disclaimer out of the way. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor. We're just a group of people trying to help others get through what we call life. And today, I don't know, I kind of have a sneaking suspicion video coming up that I would like to talk about. Does anybody else feel on edge, like something's about to happen and we just can't put our fingers on it? And I know that we just had Christmas and I don't know. I don't know what's going on in my head. But I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about politics. Yes, you can talk about it and you don't have to argue about it. You can. I do it here every day with a friend of mine. He's a little more left-leaning. I'm a little more right-leaning. And it's really not... I don't even really like to say that I'm right-leaning because I don't feel that I am. I like to hear a subject, talk about it, and figure out what the truth is, because I feel like both sides are lying. I feel like we're in an unprecedented day and age, and I absolutely hate the fact that people cannot sit down and have a decent talk about it. Back in the 80s, I remember when Reagan, there was some heated politics. I think politics are always heated, but I think in today's day and age, it's a lot different. A lot different. Anyhow, my dad used to tell everybody, you never talk politics with friends or family, especially if you want them to stay friends and family. And I just hate that. Because how do you figure things out? How do you figure out... there should be... I don't know. I learn things all the time. And I don't think that my feelings are the right way. I like to hear other people's inputs, and sometimes people have changed my mind. So instead of trying to prove a point, instead of trying to force our thoughts and opinions down other people's throats, why can't you listen to what they have to say? My second problem with politics is that everybody plays the victim. I don't care what fancy group you belong to. I don't care if it's a race. I don't care if it's your sexual orientation. I don't care if it's your political affiliation. I don't care if you're a Trump supporter. I don't care if you were a Kamala supporter. That doesn't make you any more special than the guy sitting next to you or the gal sitting next to you. And we're all just human. That's what we are. We are all human. And the minute we start putting labels on things like that, that's when bad things start happening. That's when they are no longer friends, they are a label. I don't like that situation at all. And I don't like that I have to be careful of saying certain words because it might offend somebody. Grow a pair. Get over it. It's a word. It's a word. And that is literally how I feel. I am not out to directly hurt somebody's feelings. Especially if I'm talking politics. I'm trying to figure out what's best for our country and for all the humans that reside within it. So, why can't we talk about politics with friends and family without it turning into a bloodthirsty... I've seen it here, and I'll be honest with you, if somebody walks into my office and they've got an exact opposite point of view that I have, I'm going to agree with them. Because I don't want to fight. So, whatever their view is... or not fight, but I don't want to argue. I don't, there have been a few times, like what was it, January 6th insurrection. I tried to show a friend a video. I said, well, can you look at this? And it was a different point of view. I was not trying to change their mind. I was not trying to, I just found it interesting that, not everything they've been reporting on the news seemed to be correct because all this other stuff was coming out from other places. that person looked at me and said, no, I've already made my mind up. You're not going to change it. That's messed up. If you can't listen to opinions and other thoughts and feelings around you, nothing will ever get solved. Nope, that means it's your way or the highway. And I don't like that. I have a friend here at work, and like I said, he has a different point of view. And it's kind of a challenge, I think, for him to get me to change my mind. Sorry. Yep, I still have that cough. Here we go again. Apologies. I had to put a cough drop in my mouth. Sorry, guys. But, for instance, he might be a little socialist leaning. And I really have no problems with socialism. I wish everybody could get along like that. However, there is one fatal flaw in socialism. That is assuming everybody can get along. I think we're proving that nobody can. Even just talking about politics. And everybody wants to keep up with the Joneses. So, I'm sorry, but socialism will never work. Because Sally, who's selling carrots, to George, who's growing potatoes, might want to sell more carrots or trade more carrots for those potatoes because she wants a hot tub. Well, now George is jealous because Sally's got a hot tub, but maybe his potatoes aren't worth as much as her carrots are. It'll never work. There is a problem in this society called greed. And that is why socialism will never work. But if we could live in a community where we all took care of each other and supported and loved each other, wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be great? My second problem, though, is you have to give people something, an incentive to work towards. If you don't, they become lazy and do absolutely nothing. Look at our welfare system. And I am not saying everybody on welfare is lazy. I am saying the vast majority are. And when you give people a handout, it's like the old parable, teach a man to fish. And give a man a fish, he'll starve. Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime. It's absolutely true. If you give people something to work for or towards, they'll put more effort into it. They'll live longer. They're more apt to stay active and to, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Anyhow, handouts have notoriously gone backwards. I mean, another situation is a healthcare system. I knew the minute Obama and Biden started working on this that this was going to be a great disaster, and it literally has. It may have helped a handful of people that were poor, and when I say handful, I mean more than 5 people. I am not ignorant, folks. But the vast majority of middle class that don't have high-paying jobs do not have insurance. And if something catastrophic happens, they're doomed. They have literally given insurance to some and taken it away from most. It's a sad fact. And if the only way you can get insurance at a premium is if you're working like a minimum wage job. So the incentive to work harder is not there. They're giving it away again, if that makes any sense. And if you guys disagree with me, please put it in the comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. Because I want to know if there's a different point of view. Please tell me about it. I read a lot. I read papers from all over the world, which is my next comment here. If any of you are exclusively watching CNN, MSNBC, Newsmax, Fox, watching any of those channels, stop. Just stop. They're all lying. They are all lying to you. I don't give a shit whose face is on that TV. It's all a bunch of crap. And even half the time, the newspapers are telling you crap as well. If I read something, I try to back it up with at least 2 or 3 more articles somewhere else in the world. Not even necessarily in the United States. Don't take your facts at face value. It's kind of, again, like the old adage, if it's on Facebook, it's true. No. If it's on CNN, Newsmax, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. There is a lot of bullshit floating around on this planet, and people are standing up and swearing by it because they heard it from one person on one news show. I hate to burst your bubble, folks, but those people are typically paid by government officials to push a narrative. And I don't care if it's Newsmax or CNN. It's all of them. It's all of them. The only ones that I have found to be as close to accurate, and it's a scary, slippery line, are some of these independent reporters. And today's day and age with AI, it's almost impossible to tell what's true and what's not. So instead of taking a staunch position on something that was said on CNN or Fox News, maybe look into it a little bit further, listen to somebody else's opinion, maybe something somebody else heard, put the dots together and come up with your own conclusion. Do not settle on one channel's opinion, because that's the other thing. A lot of these shows, they don't do news programs anymore. They do opinion pieces. All of them are giving you their opinion. You need to stop and look at the source. I know I'm just this small podunk girl that came from the Boontoolies and spends most of her life in front of a computer working. But I feel like it goes back to the zombie apocalypse. The vast majority has their face in their phones. And however, they're looking at funny ha-has or probably porn, to be honest with you, on these different social media websites. Or they're cheating on their wife or husband. Yeah. That happens too. I'm just saying. But nobody takes the time. They get a headline that says, in fact, I saw one, I think it was Monday, that said, something's wrong at the White House. Biden, oh, it was last Thursday. It was a week ago. I'm sorry. Biden rushed back to the hospital and Kamala cancels Christmas trip. Everybody started assuming that Biden was dead. Something was happening with Biden. I literally spent an hour reading and reading and reading. Went to the White House website and looked at his schedule. His schedule, excuse me, said, hang on. I am so sorry, it's worse the more I talk. His schedule said he was supposed to be going back to the White House on Thursday. And that he was going to go to a children's hospital on Friday. It literally, because I looked it up, I had to tell people this. I had to tell them, no, look. Why can't everybody do that instead of taking things at face value? Just because you see it on the internet does not mean it's real. Look at other sources. And then, when Nancy, your BFF, comes over and says, I just hate that Trump. I just hate him. And then you're like, oh, I love that Trump. I just love Trump. Maybe have an honest conversation about it. Please? I know my accent sucks. It is what it is. But find out why she loves him. Find out why she hates him. Find out. And then kind of meet in the middle on things. The only thing I liked about Kamala was she had some interesting business ideas. However, most of her tax ideas I saw causing a great issue with most of our taxpayers, especially in the capital gains area. The one thing I like about Trump is that he's a businessman, and our country is in dire straits right now. Do I want him? Do I want to listen to him for 4 more years? Not particularly. His ego is the size of Greenland, and I have a very significant, hard, difficult, stressful time listening to him talk. However, I think he knows business. And right now, our country is suffering under some significant inflation. We really need to get jobs back in America. We need to get people back working. I get reports every day here that it's really hard to hire people to fill positions. It's never been like this, guys. So I would like somebody who has a little bit of knowledge. The rest of it, the illegals, the food, I would really like our food fixed. Wouldn't it be great if we were all just eating farm fresh food? And wouldn't it be great if we turned on the TV and we didn't hear about some medicine that gives you a disease worse than what you're trying to cure in the long run? No, I'm not a holistic type person, but it just doesn't make logical sense to me why somebody who has diarrhea or something would end up getting cancer to stop that diarrhea. Some of these pills are freaking frightening. And I get that they're trying to help, and I would specifically really, I guess I would like a little bit more oversight on that, is all I'm going to say. Because I feel the uptick in cancer, strokes, and heart attacks it's out of control. Out of control. Anyhow, that's a topic for a different day. But my main point is it's okay to have a discussion. Don't take things at face value. Don't make it your way or the highway. It's okay for other people to have opinions. It's okay for other people to think the exact opposite of you. That is why we are a democracy. We are supposed to meet in the middle. We're supposed to meet in the middle. We are not supposed to do it one way or not at all. And that's what we've come down to. It's completely insane. Our government is spending out of control. Our debt is so high that there is no way we can even make the interest payments on it. And my problem is not with the illegal families coming in. It has absolutely nothing to do with their safety. It has to do with the strain on our system that is already bursting at the seams. And the people that we had here before, the vets and the homeless and one-parent families who are having a hard time getting by, why haven't we taken care of our own? Why haven't we taken care of these people instead of bringing in other countries? These are questions I have. It's not that I have a problem with the illegals. I have a problem with the violence. When our prison systems and judicial systems are now being overrun. And I know that not all of them are violent. I know that. But when we're not properly vetting them, it's a problem. And people are dying. Safety is an issue. We even have an issue here in Anchorage. So if we could find a happier way, an easier way for everybody involved, I would be all for that. But we really need to find a way. I mean, turn off the government lights for a month. I don't care. But we desperately need to find a way to save some money in D.C. Their spending overseas is insane. And if you actually look up the value of presidents, how it increased in the last 4 years, you'd be surprised. Their net worth has increased significantly. Something's not right, guys. The spending is out of control. And I'm sorry, but some of those senators, they have got some insider trading going on. Poor little Martha Stewart gets locked up, but everybody else gets a free pass. I have a problem with that. You don't make $176,000 a year and end up with $3 million homes. Something else is going on. Can we connect the dots here and figure out it's not a book deal? Yeah. You don't get $3 million houses on a book deal. Unless you write Harry Potter or something. Common sense, guys. Stop and think about what you're listening to. Put the dots together. And have conversations about it, how to fix it. Not one answer is correct. All answers are correct. And when we put them together, maybe we can fix something. Maybe. Instead of listening to what the talking heads want us to hear, why don't we try to get to the truth? So, if Elon wants to overturn the IRS, hell, hire me. I'm right behind you. I do tax returns for a living, and I would love to abolish that place. It is nothing but a fear-mongering, money-draining system that is benefiting absolutely no one. Put a flat tax on 10%. Everybody across the board pays 10%. I don't care if you decided to buy 5 boats and 32 houses. I don't care. That was your decision. You still owe 10%. No more loopholes. No more 5 buildings filled with IRS code. Do you know when IRS was started, it wasn't supposed to be on labor? When taxation in the United States started, they figured that labor was actually a bartering transaction because you're trading your labor for goods. So that was not to be taxed. The only thing to be taxed was capital gains. So if you bought a piece of property or, say, a cow or a horse and sold it for more than what you bought it for, you paid on that difference. Now they tax everything, and sometimes 2 or 3 times on that same dollar, because people are paying property taxes, they're paying sales tax, and they're paying income tax on that same dollar. So at the end of the day, most people are taking home 25% of each dollar. And we still have potholes. We still have homeless who are not sheltered. We still have vets that are not properly taken care of. And they're talking about Social Security going under. So now our elderly, guys, this is not the formula for a long-lasting country. When we quit taking care of our elderly, that is the first sign of decline. History repeats itself. Open a book, read it, form your own opinion, and get back to me. If you have a different outlook on things, by all means, post it down below. I love to learn, and I love to hear other people's opinions. I by no means think that I'm right. So, now that I've flapped my yap about all this, I love y'all. I'm out of here. Be kind. Bye.